Must be the sookiest comedian in the history. Thank you. I love you too. Thank you for that beautiful welcome. So there's a fair few of us here today, but of course there are a great many of us who aren't here, either because they can't be for various reasons or because they're too afraid to be at such a publicly gay gathering. Because as we know, for every one of us who's here, there are how many thousands of people who live in a situation where it's not safe for them to be out as we can be, as out as they would want to be, because we live in a society that still, unbelievably, in the 21st century, practices a form of intolerance that is not perhaps very overt, that's difficult to see for some, but nonetheless leads to dire consequences for a lot of gay people. I'm here specifically, and most really all of this is because we all care deeply about what's happening with gay youth, and we all worry for them. And I know that through my growing up, had I had role models like me, and had I been the president, but had I heard the President of the United States coming out in favour of gay marriage, it would have changed my life, absolutely. Now, people wonder why does gay marriage matter? We're standing here in front of the State Library, and there are symbols everywhere. We've got Joan of Arc there, we've got George and the Dragon, there's an exhibition devoted to love and devotion, and there's some old dude at the front, I don't know who he is. As human beings, we understand the importance of symbols. They mean something. They are rites of passage, and they also express the way in which we are included in society or excluded. We all know that the history of the human race has been a sad, beautiful, tragic, extraordinary story of the struggle between the forces of love and hate. Now, we live in one of the most affluent, prosperous, harmonious, tolerant countries in the world. Not everyone else is lucky enough to live in the sort of country that we live in. There are people who live in parts of the globe where simply being gay will mean that they face the death penalty. So as a society, we have to look at ourselves. We call ourselves a lucky country, and we are the lucky country. But with that good fortune comes a responsibility. If this country, with its peaceful history, with its affluence, with its harmony, if this country can't practice tolerance, how can we expect any other country to be capable of tolerance? Who's 88, old Scots-Irish woman. She would be here today except she's in hospital, but she sends her love to all of us and says, more power to the lot of you. She was born in 1924, before television, incredible to think. Her evolution, to see someone like her grow and evolve and understand this issue, we're all capable of that level of change. You know, she was always fantastic about it, but she's continued to grow and change and open her heart further and further and further. And those are the forces that we are working with here. Now, the politicians, we're here to try and change the law in terms of our equal rights. But the bottom line is the politicians will be irrelevant quite soon. This movement, what we are about, is the forces of love, the forces of tolerance, the forces of a mature society that can accept difference and learn to live together. Those forces are gathering across the globe. We are part of that. It is a wave that is going to continue to grow. And the fact is, the politicians will become irrelevant and we will just evolve way past them. irrespective of what happens, we know amongst all of ourselves the strong communities that we're building, the strong bonds, the forces of love, the forces of acceptance, and that's really what matters. Whether or not it gets through, they'll be gone in a couple of elections' time. What we have to do is to continue to feel that we have a right to be here, that we deserve these rights, whether or not we're given them, that we deserve these rights, that we will fight for them,